Hi guys, and welcome back to episode 4 of my little mini-series of me farming from 0 gold to a token. I can already say now that this is gonna be the finale and that we've reached our goals. Before we take a look at the mailbox and our sales, I want to say a big thanks to all of you for watching and subscribing as I start my adventure here on YouTube. It means a lot to me that you take the time to watch my videos and comment on them. So please ask all the questions you might have and I will answer them as best as I can. Alright, let's go take a look at the mailbox. Okay, the big reveal time. We have sold for a total of 119k. We have very few items left on the auction house and almost all of our reagents and trade goods have sold. We have sold a few greens, but they are not really worth mentioning as they are mostly below 100 gold. They did, however, help us to get to our gold quicker. Let's go ahead and loot the mailbox and see what our total is gonna be. $405k, and that means we have reached our goals as right now a token is 403k in the EU. I do want to give a few pointers to you guys here at the end so you all have the information you need to achieve this as well. I have 4 pointers I want to share with you. Number 1. Maintain auctions. Make sure you do undercut scans and restock your sold items. If you don't have it up on the auction house, you can't sell it. Number 2. Diversify. Make sure you farm a lot of different items and don't spend 10 hours on the same farm, that way you can provide materials for more buyers and therefore have more sales. Number 3. When to post. You can post anytime, but make sure you at least cancel scan and repost in prime hours between 5 and 8 in the evening. Number 4. What to farm. Always check the prices on the auction house before you go out and farm. You don't want to farm something that has fallen in price, but rather farm what is up in price or at normal price. On screen I found an example of a bad farm and a good farm. On the left side we have heavy hide. If we take a look at the TSM data, you can see that its min buyout is 47 gold, but its market value is 70 gold. Therefore this should be one of the last items we farm at its current price. And on the right side we have fertile spores. They are currently listed for 75 gold with a market value of 57 gold. So this is a good example of an item we should focus on farming first and get listed as soon as possible. I'd highly suggest you use the option to favorite an item on the auction house to keep a good overview over the items you like to farm. Next up I want to mention the resources I use to assist me in farming. First let's talk add-ons. Let's start with Trade Skill Master, also known as TSM. For farming I use it to give me market value information as well as making it easier to post a large quantity of items. Next up is Loot Appraiser. I use this to keep track of the time I've spent farming and to see if my farm is worth it and how much I've made doing it, and it also tracks my dungeon logouts. Those are the 2 main add-ons I use for farming. Next up is Gear. I use a speed set to farm on my level 61 druid. This is easily obtainable as it is crafted items from Shadowlands. They are called Shadebound and they are item level 233. You can only wear 1 in 262 as they are unique equipped. Consumables. Whenever I am farming something from the Cataclysm expansion, I want to use a potion of treasure finding, as it allows me to pick up tiny treasure chests filled with gold and reagents. Whenever I am reliant on running around, for example in a dungeon, I want to use a charge vial of alacrity for that extra speed. If you have not yet reached the cap of 49%, you can also add a food buff called fried bonefish. Alright guys, I really do hope you learned something from this or at least enjoyed this little mini-series. To sum it up a little, we have farmed up a token's value of 400k in roughly 22 hours of farming. Our biggest sellers came from the Terracar forest farms, covering 174k of the total 400k. If you set out to farm 1 hour a day, you can easily make 500k a month, and if you on average farm 2 hours a day, that's 1 million. Thank you guys so much for watching, liking and subscribing. I will in the upcoming days upload the farms I've done in this series as their own video with more details such as why and what people need it for. Until then, take care.